their effort and their commitment to the goals that they have set.
All right, we'll open up questions for the student athletes.
You guys might have had a little bit of a slow start offensively in the first half, maybe through three quarters. And then Chelsea, it seemed like down the stretch defensively, you really started turning defense into offense. You got, 3 or 4 steals there in the last few minutes.
Yeah, we kind of started off a little slow, which, I mean, it happens to the best of us. And it was just more so, we knew we didn't have the best half, but we were only down by 6 at that time. So we knew to just, stay close and try to stick to our defensive principles. And once we got close, I just had that mentality like, we got to get this stop here. We have to get this stop here. And I knew down the stretch they were going to go to their go-to players. They were going to go to their shooters. So I was just trying to read as best as I could to try to get a steal or try to get a deflection and throw off their offense a little bit.
3 times in the third quarter, you got it. You had the ball only down 1 with a chance to get the lead for the first time, and you couldn't do it. How big was it to finally take that lead in the fourth quarter? Do you remember the play, and was there a big emotional lift that came with that?
I mean, I think the whole game was emotional and really intense, and IUPUI is such a great team, and they were playing hard, we were playing hard, so it was kind of like a relief, like a sigh, like finally, because I knew once we took that lead, like we weren't giving it up at all. So I don't know. I always get that feeling with us once we just like get on a roll. It's hard to stop us.
And Mackenzie, you made your first 3 3-pointers, and after the big game yesterday, I know you're feeling it. You want to keep shooting. Were they taking that away from you, or were you just being a little more patient?
Yeah, Daniel Lawrence was guarding me pretty tight, which opened up a lot of drives for other people. They weren't given any help, which down the stretch helped us a lot. So, I mean, I'll take the win over anything else.
I know you guys need to kind of feed off of your own energy, but what did Simone give you guys? It seemed like she really came on in that fourth quarter.
She is a monster on the boards. Like, it is ridiculous. And, she might not have the best game here and there as far as scoring, or she might struggle a little bit, but she came out, hit some clutch shots, got some much needed rebounds at like the perfect time. So she definitely gives us energy.
Kind of putting you on the spot here, Chelsea. A little while, I think during the third quarter, you were on the bench. You were pretty heated, pretty upset. What was going on right there in your head, and how were you able to turn it around?
I was just really frustrated that like shots weren't falling, and we were calling offense, and then I like was just so open, so I was like, oh, this is in, and I just like couldn't buy a basket, so I was just getting really frustrated. I just took like a second, calm down on the bench and regroup myself and try to stay as positive as I could, no matter where I was for my team. And once I recollected myself, I was ready to go back in and help my team win.
I think you had like 3 steals in the final 90 seconds. Were you just anticipating? Did you know what was coming?
Yeah, I mean, I was anticipating, and like I said, I just kind of I knew for a fact that it was going to one of 3 players. So I don't know, I just kind of read it. A lot of times they were doing handoffs and they completely took Lawrence out of the play. So I'm like, okay, it has to be going to this girl. So I was just kind of reading it, and I knew I had like a size advantage I think I stole it on number 4 a couple times, Hoop and Garner. And I just wanted to use my size as well as I could. And I just read it. She put the ball in my face a couple times and just anticipated and got it.
And Mackenzie, I know you guys want to enjoy this one, but looking ahead to Green Bay, I mean, your thoughts on tomorrow's game?
It's a big one, but we knew that coming in that we'd have to face them at some point. We always play them really tight, and somehow they just always pull away at the end. It's hard to be a team 3 times, and we're going to focus in later on today. We're going to enjoy this win, but just get back to it, get back to the grind, and tomorrow it's just going to come down to whoever's tougher.
They were down at halftime of their first game and tied at halftime today. Is there a sense of vulnerability there? Or do you think they're going to come out even more fired up because of the early struggles?
We were down at half too, so it's hard telling. Like I said, it's just the tougher team's going to win tomorrow, and I have faith in us and our toughness, and I have a lot of confidence in Trina that she's going to run the right stuff. Whoever's scouting is going to put us through the right thing, so we're ready to play.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead with questions for Coach, please.
How about Simone? I mean, that was a spark you guys had to have.
Every time anyone asks me, what is the difference in the game? It's always Simone Simmons. Simone Simmons is our X factor. And when she can rebound the way that she did, when she can knock down a couple of threes, when she can aggressively attack the basket and sit down and defend, like Simone is very difficult to handle. And I think that she oftentimes gets left open because people play the percentages, and let's be honest, percentage-wise, you go guard Mackenzie Taylor, you go guard Emily Vogelpohl, and Simone Simmons can make a shot. And like Chelsea mentioned, she has struggled from time to time, but what she does the majority of the time is play really, really hard, and I think that's what we saw.
I know it's a sample size of 128 quarters, but do you think that fourth quarter was one of your guys' best this year?
That's a big possibility that it was, because again, these kids are so used to winning. We've been winning a lot for a long time. And so they get caught up in feelings and emotions sometimes. Is what Chelsea talked about. You know, if I call a play and she's wide open, she has the freedom to go make a play. And then you get frustrated when it doesn't go down and you wish you could have those possessions back. And I think that what we did in the fourth quarter was gather everyone, not just Chelsea, and tell them that we needed to execute every single play, every single possession on both ends of the floor. And they nodded, and you could tell that look in their eye, and they were ready to go.
Was there a sense in your mind that if we could just get the lead for the first time, we can kind of take this over?
I about lost it when we couldn't make a shot for a few possessions. And the kids, we're really close, and we talk a lot about a lot of different things. They know how I get about 2 possessions and we don't score that third one. The ball needs to go in the basket. And so I think we were all a little antsy, all getting a little uncomfortable there. But again, they locked in. And I think that execution was the most important thing, right next to, like Mackenzie said, being tough.
Just talk a little about not only the defense that she gives you, but the offensive lift you got from Vogelpohl, kind of making a couple key baskets in the fourth. You guys close the gap.
I think that we're just tough sometimes because it's easier to identify other people's best players. And we do have Chelsea, and then it's kind of a crapshoot about who the other 2 or 3 players are going to be and what kind of impact they're going to have, and it's not always scoring. And Emily, again, is on the all-defensive team, and she does a great job anticipating on the help line, a great job getting steals. And then right in that mid-range area, she's pretty dangerous too. So we ran a couple plays to her there where, again, she has a lot of confidence. And the third time she said, running again. So when that kid, she's such a competitor, when she starts talking that way, again, sometimes the worst thing you can do with the team like this and players like that is overcoach them. You just run something to them and let them go to work.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.